This week, we are going to be talking about Poshfest and whether or not we believe the algorithm really changed.
Yes, in addition to the algorithm and all the topics therein, we're also going to be looking at all of the data that they gave us, and we're going to be looking at all of the features and add-ons and extra things that they're going to be adding into Poshmark moving forward.
Before we get into all of that, which there's a lot of really great insight, I do think it is important for us to take a second to criticize where we feel we need to. And for us this year for Poshfest, I think the most important thing to criticize is the tone of the event, especially in comparison with eBay Open.
We watched both of them, and it's just a very stark difference between the tone and the overall theme and elements that they put on the stage for the presentations between eBay and Posh. And to be honest, I very much would prefer the eBay version versus the Posh.
Yeah, now this could be a difference between men and women, which unfortunately I believe that is the case. It could just be a difference in the way that the companies view themselves and how they want it to be run. We know that Poshmark is very much thinking about themselves as a social platform, where eBay thinks of themselves as a selling platform, so this could be the difference. But either way, I really felt uncomfortable listening to a lot of the love aspect of the Poshmark Fest and the building each other up and working together. It reminded me very much of my time in an MLM, focusing on my why, things like this that are very MLM-y. And I don't think this is Poshmark's intent. I believe that they really do want us all to be successful in business. So I would just ask Poshmark that you pay attention to the way that you come across, because it does turn a lot of people off. I mean, let's be honest, there was 400 people at Poshfest, and I truly believe there is way more than 400 people that sell on Poshmark, that love Poshmark, that build a business on Poshmark. There might be a reason for that.
I think it was just, honestly, I took it as a shameless pander to women, and it's kind of like, I can't see myself sitting through that unless I have a vested interest to watch Poshmark information. So
yeah, and as a woman, it didn't work on me, which I don't think I'm alone. So let's just hope that next time they do a little bit more like eBay Open and focus on us as the business people we are rather than just women. But let's talk about the good things. What did they come up with?
So the takeaways, we have some interesting data. We have some little nuggets of insight that they gave us. The first one that I wanted to is just to go to show that the sellers are the ones that drive the platform. They were talking about every second there are 24 offers made by sellers versus one offer per second made by buyers. So it is the reselling community and the people that are selling things actively that are driving those numbers and their success.
Yes, and this is a reminder to you, as we always say, be your own algorithm. Don't wait for a buyer to come to you. Make sure that you're going to them, because every other seller is doing that. So if you're not, you're likely missing out.
So related to that figure, there's the next stat, which is 67% of transactions on the platform come from an offer from either a buyer or a seller, which I honestly would have expected that to be slightly higher. I would have expected it to be 80-85%, because the guest shoppers, we don't get that many of them. Not 30% of them. Not even close.
Yeah, and I actually believe Poshmark does tell you directly for yourselves under Closet Insights how many of your sales come from offers versus buy it now. We can try and insert our chart here. I don't know ours off the top of my head, but I'm betting it's more than 67% is offers. But let us know in the comments. What does the chart say? Is it surprising you? Are we wrong? Just let us know.
It's going to be exactly 67.
It's going to be.
Next is related to the offer system, and this was a very telling stat in terms of having to capitalize on the person when they're paying attention to your item. They said that 50% of all transactions come from the same day that the person sees the item, likes the item, and interacts with the item for the first time. So if you are not sending an offer, you're not trying to capture that person, you're missing out on what is essentially a 50-50.
Yeah, and they also said that 80% of sales come within the first 7 days of a person seeing the item. So this really goes to show that you really need to have a system in place where you are really capturing a liker as soon as they come in and you don't let them wait. So we did a whole video, and I will link it for you, of how we run sales and how we run them on a schedule so that a liker is touched multiple times in 1 week. Now, we weren't actually doing that with this knowledge in mind. We knew that it was important to capture a liker as soon as we had them, but we didn't really understand this statistic, but this really hammers that home.
You could have lied. Like, you could have said, yeah, we totally knew. We totally knew in advance.
We totally knew. But definitely check that out, because we actually touch a liker approximately 3 times in a week, which I think really does help our sales. So make sure that you're checking that out. Ask all the questions you want and let us know what you do. How many times are you touching a liker in the first week that they've liked an item? I'd be really curious to see where you guys fall.
Next is the stats related to lowballs. That is no one's favorite thing to talk about. Lowballs do happen. They did go into the detail that 30% of all lowball offers result in a sale if you counter versus decline. So what does that counter look like? It may depend. You may want to dollar drop them. You may want to just send an actual offer, but don't decline because you're missing out on a 30% chance that there's a sale at the end of that transaction.
Yeah, and as a seller, I will say, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are groaning with me because I don't like this. Frankly, a lot of lowball offers for me seem to be fishing for my lowest price, which is why I do the dollar drop, because that's my way of letting them know, hey, I'm willing to negotiate with you, but your offer isn't reasonable. So if you want to send a reasonable offer, that would be great. And sometimes I actually do send a message to that effect to let them know, especially if they're continually sending me lowball offers. And that has had good results in the past. But unfortunately, they do have the stats to say that we should counter, we should engage, we shouldn't ignore. So I guess let's just do that.
Yeah. So the next data points that they have, and I really, really wish that they would release this on an ongoing basis for sellers, is the insight into what is selling and at what time, because they have that data. They presented this data. The point that they had on the screen was sweaters versus swimwear, and it was a figure 8 infinity pattern on the screen, so it's up and down opposite ends. Swimwear, for those of you who probably already know, I was out of the loop on this, you're going to be wanting to pick that up in February or March, much earlier than you would be going swimming in a bathing suit. And sweaters, conversely, you want to be picking them up in the middle of summer heat,
Yeah,
to get them ready for fall weather.
Yes. Now, a lot of us knew this because this goes exactly the way that department stores go, things like that. However, I will say as a thrifter, this is difficult. My thrift store, I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but my thrift stores, for example, does not stock swimsuits until summer. So it won't release until maybe May if it's a warm May, but usually June. Sweaters just came out about 2 weeks ago, and we're
September.
almost in October. Yeah. So I couldn't stock them
We
early.
are in October.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's October. Unfortunately for us, we have a really hard time getting into the season ahead of time, like Poshmark suggests. So if you really wanted to be a savvy seller, what you might want to do is start stocking away those items at the end of a season instead of listing them, so that you have them to get them up early for the next season coming. I won't do that just because I don't like holding inventory, but
certainly
that could
easy
be a good
for
way.
bathing suits. Sweaters would be a little bit tough for the storage.
Yeah. So, I mean, if that's what you want to do, though, that might be a way to do it. Posh does have the stats to show that that is when things are going to sell the best. I personally just list all year round, and people do purchase, and I'm relisting all the time. So hopefully my buyer will see it when it's relisted if it's not at the first list.
The next trend that they had, they compared 3 different brand or items. First was On Running or On Cloud shoes, which shows a general gradual increase in sales proceeds on the website. So that was the story of a brand that's an up and coming, becoming more aware for the buyers.
And if you don't know what On Running is, they're on clouds.
On Clouds.
We didn't know this in before the last quarterly earnings call, so don't feel bad if you don't know. That's what it is.
The next one they went over was a released to Target collab that was a straight up and down spike, which is helpful to know. If you have advanced warning, you can capitalize on that and be one of the first to market. But it is very time sensitive. Yeah. If you don't sell it in that very narrow window, you're going to be holding on to the item.
And if you're a shopper that does this, I would love to know your experience. We tried it once for a drop. I don't remember. Do you remember what brand it was?
Vineyard Vines, Target. It was a duffel bag.
Yeah. So we tried it and we missed the window. We missed the window entirely. So I'm really curious if any of you guys have success with that. Let us know how you do it. I really want to know. So let me know in the comments.
And the last one was the influence of TikTok. According to Poshmark, Stanley cups are all over TikTok.
What are Stanley cups?
I don't know. I think they're thermal cups.
Oh, okay.
So insulated
I'm
metal
on
cups.
TikTok and I know nothing about this.
So they were just showing the up and down statistics related to whether or not TikTok ads are being seen by the right people in influencing their purchasing decisions.
Yeah, so this reminds me a lot of when Alfred Dunner was trending. There was a lot of stuff talked about on TikTok. People were styling it, and so everyone was going and buying Alfred Dunner, and then it kind of like died out like really quickly because it's Alfred Dunner. So things like this on TikTok will kind of ebb and flow. So if you want to be on the cutting edge of what's trending, TikTok might be a good place for you, but it's not going to last. As they showed in the chart, it's kind of a...
temperamental at best. It was very much up and down, kind of a roller coaster ride.
All right, so that is what they showed us for stats. I am really encouraged and hopeful that that means that they're going to be sharing more and more stats as they come. But there is more that they shared that I think is really interesting. They shared with us what features are going to be coming soon. So we're going to tell you all of them and give you a little bit of our feelings behind each one. Some we're really happy about,
some not so much.
The first new feature that they released is they ship with a QR code rather than a label. Now, I know this has been available on Mercari for quite a while. I think it may also be available on eBay, but I'm not sure. And this will give you the ability to go ahead and ship your item without having to print out a label. I think this is a really cool feature to have. There's going to be a lot of people, especially casual sellers who may not have a printer, may not have access. Maybe you're selling in like a dorm or something like that where you don't want to have to go walking to like a public printer, things like that. This will make it really simple and easy for them to do it. For us personally, as full-time sellers, I'm just mostly not doing it to save the post office just a headache.
We will never be welcome again. I can't even tell you how many times they look at me walking through the door delivering the packages and they groan.
Yeah.
Already, with the prepaid package labels already attached. I also don't know how I would keep track of which one is which if they're already packed.
We've already had a few times them asking us if we could do a pick list, so I don't think they would be super happy if we pulled out our phone and we're like, by the way, scan these, please. I won't. So it's definitely a cool feature, and I'd be interested to see how people are going to use it. The next one is to get paid faster. Now, this is funny because eBay also announced the exact same thing in eBay Open, where instant pay. This one, I'm not really sure the use case for other than just so that I don't have to wait. But I will use this as a reminder. Poshmark is not a bank. They are not insured. So if like tomorrow, all of a sudden, the Poshmark website is gone, goes down, they're out of business, they're gone, and you still have money in that account, your money is likely gone. It's gone. So make sure that you are moving your money out as soon as possible. With this new feature, you can move it out as soon as it hits your balance. You can just hit the button and it'll be there instead of having to wait those days to get it. But yeah, just make sure you're moving that money out and take advantage of this new feature if you need to kind of be on top of it.
That money, until you move it, is on their balance sheets as cash, basically.
Yeah. So the next thing they mentioned that I think is the feature everyone was most excited about was saved searches. So saved searches has been asked about for a long time. The only place that I've seen it previously would be Mercari. So what this allows you to do is if you are looking for an item and you really are hoping that it pops up but it's not available right now, you can save that search. You'll be notified when a listing that matches your search criteria pops up. They didn't give you exact specifics on how it's going to work, but they did say that filters will work with it. So this might mean that size filter will work, price filter might work, color filter might work, all of these type of things, which would be really great if you're looking for something really specific. I know that there's a lot of in search of posts on Poshmark. The Taylor Swift Folklore cardigan is one that I can think of off the top of my head. Those people could now create saved searches, so they'll be notified as soon as the seller has the item that they're looking for, which is great for buyer experience.
And for sourcing online, it's a great tool for sellers. We're going to plan on using the save search for buying Brahmins because we love to flip Brahmins. They're wonderful. Just 10 out of 10 experience. If you haven't found a Brahmin, look for them. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, so as a seller, you can definitely do this as well. You know, keep track of the things that you really like to source and have a save search letting you know. I am really curious to see how immediate the save search will be, if there's going to be a delay, or if you'll get notified as soon as it is hit the justing category. So remains to be seen, but this is a really cool feature, and I think there's a lot of use cases for it.
The next feature that they mentioned was the scale to fit non-square photos. I think it's a nice, cool cosmetic change. I don't think it's that important because most people just have the square camera.
Square mode on their
camera. It's not that big a deal.
I definitely think that's the case. I will say that stock photos, now, we're not supposed to use them, but I do, okay? Like, don't judge me. But sometimes they don't fit that metric, so I will have to use InstaSize, an app that will make it the square that I need it to be. And also sometimes I just forget to use square mode, and I don't want to have to retake my photos because I'm very lazy. And I also, again, have to use InstaSize. So this will save a step and I won't have to do that anymore, which is really cool. So it's not like something I'm going to use every day, but, you know, it's nice to have.
And then celebrating in your success, dear.
Well, okay. So I love the idea behind this. We all need to learn to celebrate the little wins. Every sale is important and we should totally celebrate that. We have ways that we do this in our family that include the dogs, and it's a really fun time. So Poshmark has come up with a way to do that within the app.
Yes, so they have a ding sound and confetti.
Yes.
And how do they not have a ka-ching or cha-ching sound?
Yeah, I literally, and I'm not even making this up, have turned my phone on loud when I have never, I don't think the entire time we have been married have ever had my phone on loud.
It's not even married. Since before we were dating,
Yeah.
Your phone was on silent.
My phone has always been on silent, and since I found out that eBay had a ka-ching sound, I turned on my sound for the ka-ching. So,
Is it catching or cha-ching?
oh boy, semantics. Is it ka-ching or cha-ching?
I've heard both, so...
So, which is it? You guys let us know.
They had two options. Both of them better than the ding.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Not sorry.
And I'm just going to say, since we're out here, you know, critiquing celebrations, if we could just have, you know, making it rain by dollars instead of confetti, I feel like that would be a really great touch that I would tell everyone about. I'm just saying, you know?
Yeah,
I want to throw money around.
So awesome. Just fake digital money across the screen. Just instead of confetti would be 10 out of 10. 11, a billion out of 10.
It would make a sale 10 times better. So, Pasha, I'm just spitballing for you.
Pay us. We have the best ideas.
Yeah. Okay, and then they talked about Posh Shows. Now, I'm not going to go into my feelings about Posh Shows. If you want to know our feelings about Posh Shows, you can check out the video that I link up here. We're also going to be giving you updated feelings on that in our reseller recap, which is coming next. And we have watched the shows, so we have opinions. So we will give those to you there. But here we want to just tell you what they have announced about what's coming soon for Posh Shows. So the first thing that they mentioned that's coming soon is the quick list feature. So people have been a little bit unhappy about the fact that you have to have your item fully listed in your Poshmark closet before it can go into a Posh Show. I know that that's like extra work, and one of the great parts about a live is that you don't have to list. Well, it looks like now you're going to be able to quick list while you're in a show. If somebody says, hey, do you have any Free People sweaters? You can just grab one and list it and put it on the show.
I mean, I think that is a nice feature for the lives auctions. We'll get more into our personal feelings on it, but it certainly is going to make the live auctions a more successful strategy.
Yeah.
In my mind.
Another feature that they're adding is buy it now. So you won't just have to run auctions. You'll also have the ability to just put up a listing that you want somebody to purchase now and have a buy it now price, which is pretty cool.
I guess my question there is, why wouldn't they just buy it from your closet? But,
maybe you can offer a lower buy it now price.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know.
Isn't that just an offer?
I don't know, but it's a feature. The next feature is bundling orders during live shows.
I thought that was just a given part of the launch. I was not even expecting Poshmark to lean into probably one of their strongest selling points on compared to any selling platform is the ability to save on shipping for multiple items over £1. I thought that was a no-brainer. I thought that was this is the first thing we have to do. Figure that out. I'm wrong.
But it's a great feature to have. It's definitely a reason why people might come to lives, because that's amazing. You're going to get better prices, better deals, and you can bundle it all together. So that's really great. Another thing that they're going to do is bookmarking shows. So especially for people who are kind of trying to get people to come into their shows, maybe from social media or from other places, they'll be able to direct them there and they can bookmark that show rather than having to like try and find it in Poshmark. I presume the more people are doing it, the more there's going to be shows, and it might be a little bit difficult to find the one you're specifically looking for.
Yeah.
And then finally, they said they're going to allow shoppers to view listings before and during shows. So this means that you will be able to kind of promote your show and have the listings there so people can look through it and decide, is this a show that I want to sit through? Is there something there that I think is really worth it for me? Which I believe Whatnot has already. They have like a store function. So this will be very similar to that, and shoppers will get to decide what items they want to sit around and wait for in a live show.
I mean, again, that's another positive change for the live auction. So they are working on it. They are trying to make it as competitive as possible. It's obvious that that's where their focus is. They did say at one point that they have half of the company working on it.
They did?
And I still really want to know. So if the CEO could get on the same page as their engineering team, that would be great. Somebody said 59 days since the idea. Somebody said 3 years we've been working on this. Which is right? And I have to know.
I did want to give one stat too that they gave about Posh shows, that between 50 and 80% of auctions end up in a sale. Now, I believe that means individual items that are being auctioned off. So some of them don't sell, of course, because not every item in your closet sells. So why would every auction in a live sell? So that's a really cool stat to see. It is obviously only 1 week in, so that data can definitely fluctuate, but it's a cool stat to see. So if you are thinking about live shows, it seems like right now they are doing more and more to make them a better experience. Okay, so we do have to get into the algorithm. I know that's why you're all here, but we do have a thank you.
We have like a dozen thank yous. It's ridiculous. So we were remiss in not doing these last week. So we have 5 new channel members. It's ridiculous.
Welcome, 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 and thank you so much.
Yes. So it's Christy S, Lisa T, The Thrifty Broad. She has a YouTube channel, and you should totally check her out. Shaylin E, not Shailene.
Hi, name buddy.
And then Death by Corporate. Awesome, awesome online name. Great, 10 out of 10.
If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, please do. You will find the password to that group in the community tab for members only. And we are so excited to get to know you better and interact with you. If you guys want to be part of the Facebook group, that is $1 a month. There is a link in the description below that you can do that. Most recently, we did a post where we found out what everybody was sourcing this week, and some of the stuff was really cool, but one of our members actually showed us a way to source that's not a thrift store and is really capitalizing on the change in the weather. It's really fun, really cool, and if you want to interact with people like that, make sure that you come to the platform.
All right, into the algorithm. This is the headline news, and everyone has talked about this. They haven't stopped talking about this since it was announced that they are planning to roll back the algorithm this weekend.
Yes.
That is the rumor.
Yay!
Now, thank God. I mean, we've done several. That's how most of you have found our channel. Is we did a billion videos about the change of the algorithm. It's just, do we believe it?
Okay, so what I want to start with is I want to remind everybody that Poshmark stated that they were going to start rolling back the algorithm as of this weekend. So we have seen the post, and I'm going to try and share what I can here. But we've seen the post, and a lot of people are seeing an uptick in sales, and they are automatically attributing it to the algorithm rollback. And they're saying, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that the algorithm has rolled back. I'm making all these sales. So I want to caution you. We have looked at it, and from what we can see, while there may be a few adjustments or tweaks that have been made, it has not been fully rolled back. And I just want to make that clear. It has not been fully rolled back. And now we can show this to you. So
relevance is still in that third row.
Yes.
It is still stuck there. They are old, stale listings by comparison, several days, weeks old when you search, not the most recently shared. So it's not back fully to that old system.
Yes. So I'm going to try and put a example on the screen while we're talking. But essentially what is going on right now is if you type in something that you're looking for, you will find better results than I would say a week or two ago. Because if you typed in a search term and you didn't get rid of the size filter, you were basically finding nothing close to what you were looking for. Yeah. Now it's much closer. But it's still not perfect, and you do need to remove the size filter to get what you want. And if you go to that third row, very often you're going to find older listings. Now, maybe it's only 10 hours old. Maybe it's a day old. Maybe it's from the beginning of September. Depends. But in that third row, you're going to notice it is not the just shared item. So that is still going on. And I'm not saying that this means that Poshmark isn't doing it. I'm just saying that it hasn't happened yet. So let's give pause and let's give them time. It's probably going to take time for it to roll back. If you are seeing an increase in sales, that's awesome, but that's probably you. So celebrate you. Let's not give all the credit to Poshmark just yet.
So crazy conspiracy theory.
Uh-oh.
There's a couple of them.
Oh, no.
First one, I think that they announced this after summer at Poshfest, and it has nothing to do with the change of algorithm. It's just its summer slowdown is over.
Uh-oh.
So that's one theory. Second conspiracy, and this is the one where I'm concerned that they have tweaked the algorithm and moved it forward, so you are getting better results, but they have no intention of getting rid of the old relevance listings because they do still have a vested interest in bringing back inactive members. And I don't think that's going to change. And I'm betting you that's really what's going on.
Do you guys also have your tinfoil hats on?
Yeah.
Wow. I want to be optimistic. So we're going to let him have the conspiracy theories, and I'm going to say that I'm optimistic and looking forward to seeing how this rollback happens. Now, one thing I will say to kind of temper maybe the conspiracy theories that are out there, just like his, is that there has been a little banner that has been put on inactive closets that will say this closet is not eligible for buy it now. You will have to make an offer in order to buy from this person because of inactivity. Now, I don't know what causes this banner. I don't know when it popped up. I just recently saw that it's happening. So fingers crossed that that means that they're starting to do something. I don't know. But let's just keep hope. Let's keep hope. Let's keep hope alive and pray that this means that we are going to see sales again. I do want to say, just to temper expectations, I don't think we're going to be returning to sales from last year. Pandemic sales were a different beast. People were not going out. People were at home. There was just a very different structure to things. And I just don't think we're going to see a return to that, unfortunately. We have the economy weighing down on us. There's a lot of other factors. So as excited as I am that the algorithm is going back to normal and we are going to hopefully start seeing a better search for the buyer, I do think we have to expect that our sales will only probably see a mild increase.
I think that's everything for the Poshfest that we were able to find online. Hopefully they don't pull an eBay and dump a whole bunch of videos after we finish recording. The worst. Thank you so much for watching.
And we're back really soon with a new video.